Dr. Bell's craft videos. I hope you enjoyed our video last week where I made pasta jewellery. If you missed our video or want to see any of our other videos, you can find them here on our YouTube channel as well. So tonight is Robert Burns night and our theme in creche this week is Burns night. Robert Burns was a famous Scottish poet from a long time ago in the 1700s, and Burns night is on the 25th of January every year because that was Robert Burns' birthday. Sometimes we call it Rabbie Burns because that's a Scottish way of saying Robert Burns. People often get together on this night, on Rabbie Burns night, and eat haggis, neeps and tatties and read Rabbie Burns poems. So today, in keeping with the Scottish Robert Burns theme, we'll be making paper kilts, like this one which I made before, and haggis pom-pom pals, just like these little guys here. Okay, so let's start with the paper kilts. To make the paper kilts, you'll need some coloured paper, or if you don't have coloured paper, you can also use plain paper and colour it or paint it yourself beforehand. You'll also need a pencil for drawing the shapes, and some scissors, and you'll need a glue stick or some liquid glue as well would work, and you'll need some pre-cut strips of paper, which you can ask your adult to help you cut your pre-cut strips of paper before you start. And I'm using different widths of paper, so I've got some strips are quite thick, like this piece here, and I have some bits that are more thin, like this piece here, and that will help to make your tartan pattern on your kilt. So to start off with, I'm going to take one of my pieces of coloured paper. I think I'm going to take this red bit here and draw the shape that you want your kilt to be. So a kilt is a bit like a skirt, so I start with one line on the top, and then I'm going to do two lines coming off that, getting wider at the bottom, and then one more line here. So that's the shape I've drawn, but you can draw whatever shape you like if you want your kilt to be a different shape. And then once you've done that, ask your adult to help you cut the shape out with your scissors. So here's my cutout shape of a kilt. And once you've got that, then you can start sticking strips of paper on. So kilts usually have a tartan pattern, which looks like overlapping lines of different colours, a bit like that. So you might want to decide what pattern you want your kilt to be before you start, or you might just want to start sticking strips of paper down. So I'm just going to go for it and start sticking bits down. So I'm going to take this bit of purple and put some glue on the back, and then stick that down just in the middle of my kilt here. And it's okay if it goes off the edges, because at the end you can ask your adult to help you trim it. And let's see, what else should I go for? Maybe a bit of gold I've got here. This bit's a bit thinner. I'm going to put some glue on the back of that. And then stick that down. I'm going to stick this down the opposite way so that some bits go down the way and some bits go across. Looks like that. I'm just going to keep doing that until I start to have a bit of a tartan pattern. There we go. We've got a bit of a tartan pattern now with all the overlapping colours. What colours can you see on my kilt? You can see red, that's the bottom, and some gold. We've got some green as well, some purple, and a little bit of pink. What colours are on your kilt? So once you've done that, then you can ask your adult to help you trim the edges. I'm just going to trim my edges now. Just like that. So that it all fits just inside the shape that I drew before. And then once I've done that, it looks a bit neater just like that. And at this stage you can add stuff if you want to decorate it a bit more, like pom-poms or glitter or other shapes of paper if you want to add things like that. I think I'm gonna add, I have a little foam flowery shape there and a little green pom-pom. I think I'm gonna add them to make a bit of a sporran look. That's the kind of little bag that sometimes sits on kilts. So I'm just gonna stick these on, get a bit more glue on there. So, there we go, there's my lovely tartan paper kilt. Now let's make a haggis pom-pom pal. Haggis is a type of meat that people in Scotland eat, especially on Burns Night, and some people believe that there are wild haggis running around in the Highlands of Scotland, but nobody knows what they look like. What do you think a haggis would look like? Well, now you can make your very own little haggis friend. So for this you will need a large pom-pom, or you can also use a wool ball like these ones I've got here, or you could use some cotton wool balls and colour them yourself with some paint or some pens beforehand. And you'll also need things to decorate your pom-pom haggis pal with. So today I've got some different little foam shapes and I've got some googly eyes as well, but you could also use bits of paper and or like little drawings that you've made. Just like what I did with this guy. I drew some shapes on paper and I did some colouring and then I cut them out and stuck them on. You'll also need glue. You can use a glue stick or some liquid glue as well, and some pens if you want to decorate it a bit more yourself too. So first I'm going to take this yellow pom-pom and I'm going to take one of my foam shapes. I think I'm going to take this purple love heart, and I think that would make quite nice feet for my haggis friend. So I'm just going to peel the sticky back off that and then stick the pom-pom on, and there, look, now he has some feet. Then I'm going to take some googly eyes. So how many eyes do you think a haggis has? I think I'm going to do 2 eyes on this haggis, but you can do however many you like, or no eyes. Maybe the haggis has no eyes. I'm going to take the sticky back off this and then stick a googly eye on. Oh, there we go. Another one. There we go. Now we have some eyes. And then I'm going to take a look at the rest of the foam shapes I have and think about what I think will go on this haggis. What do you think? I think maybe the haggis needs a bit of a nose. So I'm going to take another foam shape, I think. Maybe, what colour do you think I should use? Maybe some blue. Got a little blue rectangle here, so I'm going to stick that on the haggis. That can be his mouth or his nose. Here we go. And I think my haggis needs maybe a little hat or something like that, so I'm going to take this red foam shape and peel the sticky back off, and then can make the haggis a little hat. And I have some smaller pom-poms here, so I might use one of those to give the hat a bit more colour. Let's see, what colour shall I use? Maybe purple to go with his feet. So I'm going to take my liquid glue. I'm going to put a little dot just on there, and then I'm going to add the pom-pom. There we go. That's my little haggis pom-pom pal. I think that I'm going to name him Henry. What are you going to name your haggis pom-pom pal? Well done everybody, that's the end of my craft video this week. Please do send in pictures of your crafts if you make any, I'd love to see them. And join us next week when I'll be making toilet roll tube dragons and some paper fans for Chinese New Year. Thank you, bye!